what is it that you're looking for, and you can see they've written up their statement of purpose, and that this would be a teacher, or they'd have a teacher that'd be as a sponsor, but it'd be a student-led group. And they would be in, Scott Sater is gonna be the teacher, he's the band teacher at East, and he'd let the students use their room, his room. He would oversee, but not be an active participant, just to make sure that they have a safe place to have their meetings and kind of be there in case something is needed. But it's, again, it's very similar to other groups that we have that are student-led, and they came forward and had a pretty well documented description of what they'd like to do, and again, the kids said, it's just something that we could, we feel we could fit into. There wasn't a lot of, some of the kids that I heard what their story was that, this is, I was looking for something and there wasn't really anything. This is something that, would fill a void that I want to be connected to school and other kids in school that have the same interests as me.
2 points that I talked to John about. One is our staff cannot have any involvement in a faith club or anything like that. So it's really important that our community knows that some of our staff might enjoy participating, they just can't. That's the way the law is. So we'll make a very clear separation there. And then secondly, if East has it, I want to make sure we do our due diligence to make sure West has the same opportunity.
Once we have it on the books, if they would like to, they don't have to come back again. We've got the club and they follow the same format. We bring it over there.
Any other questions on that?
One question. I know this says it's a Christian focus, but the question I just had is, are there other faiths encouraged to participate in this particular?
No, I know this one is Christian based. There may be others that would come forward. I'd have them go through the other, I'd have them go through the same process, and I'd talk to the kids. They may be open to that, but right now the students that were all involved were Christian faith.
But it's not exclusionary in terms of attendance.
No, and just like our.
No group.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Anything else on this one? Okay, next one?
The next one is the Somali group, student group, and you'll see they're the one that they kind of tried to address the 6 questions, but they probably hit about 4 to 5 of them in their explanation. And I'll take a little of the hit for them not having the 6 questions laid out. I shared with them we have a Latino student group, and we approved last year, and they followed the same format that was used when we approved their group, so they tried to, it's almost identical in the layout. But again, it's to help students academically, help them be more involved in school, promote, a place, trying to promote involvement of Somali students in school and help them be successful in school. And one of our liaisons, Ibrahim Mohammed, was the key author of this and wanting to bring this forward, so we've had a lot of discussions. So, I don't know if you have any questions in that regard.
I have a comment I'm going to make it about this one and the prior one. I think it would behoove in the official document that it states something like all are welcome to attend in some fashion. I don't want to put words in their mouths, but I think it's important that in the founding document it's noted that these are not exclusive or exclusionary in any way. This one and the faith. They can have their focus, but it needs to be inclusive.
Yep.
And I'd like a little bit more to know if they're planning on doing any fundraising or anything like that, what their budget is and what their plans are on that. Anything else?
To Rod's point on the last one, is there a desire to have a similar event at West, or will this just be hosted at East for West and East?
Right now, they're starting at East, but they would obviously allow West kids in, and Ibrahim was saying he'd like to get it started over at West as well. Just like I believe the Latino group started at West, and I think they've got kids from East as well. So,
If that happens, would we need to come back?
no, I take it as we don't, because we've got it on the books, and we've got the. If they're following the same constitution and all that, I just see it as a replication.
And since this happens to be the junior high, ditto for,
I would say,
as the kids move forward, they want to
yes.
continue in high school. Just so we're all on the same page.
John?
Just for continuity, do we want to send this back to Ibrahim and
Yes.
have him follow the proper?
And this is the first reading, so I'll go,
Second reading.
for the second reading, we'll have it in the other format.
Alright.
Any other questions? Next one is?
I'm gonna let John, I'm gonna take off him because he's got the next 3.
Okay, the next one I have is a bowling club, and the best way I could fashion this is it's really the Clay Target program, only with the title bowling. It's completely an outside organization. Dick Benson, who's the general manager at Louisville Lanes here in town, has been in to talk to me along with parents that there's an opportunity. There's the bowling proprietors of Minnesota are certainly working hard to gain the interests of a new generation, I think, in the sport. Bowling is beginning to take off at the NCAA level again in many areas, in many schools. So, this one is presented in the same fashion. The majority of the work is done outside of the building, and this is being presented just as an opportunity for them to recruit and have meetings and share information in our buildings, to share information about opportunities for students.
I'm gonna ask this question, John. Is there inclusion for kids with disabilities, or allowing for ramp bowling or anything such as that?
I don't know if Louisville Lanes has the ability to do that, but certainly it's certainly a question we can ask them.
Okay, that'd be great. They do have ramps, so I was just curious.
Louisville Lanes has that, but I know in these bowling programs, they often bowl without any handicap. So if you want to field a competitive team, you need to have people that are up there getting a strike or a spare every time. Because you only bowl 2 frames, and another person from the team bowls another 2 frames. So, if you have a 5-man team, each bowling 2 frames, so it's slightly different scoring than what you're used to.
John, you kind of addressed this when you began by framing this as the trap club, but I'm a little confused because in the language, I see varsity and JV listed a couple of times. They can earn a letter, but it's referred to as a club. So I'm unclear in this particular case, is this a varsity sport or is it a club? And if it's one or the other, I think we probably should clean up the language.
It's a club, and our Clay Target group has a quote unquote varsity and JV. I mean that's the common language.
Okay.
And we've allowed them they're submitting proposals for it as well.
And they have developed, just as Clay Target has, they have, they're not, it's a club, it's an outside organization, so they're not paying activity fees and such, but they have presented and been awarded letters and gone out on that road as well.
Okay,
So it
there's
is-
precedent for that. It's just confusing to me. When I think of varsity and JV, that to me is a high school sanctioned, if you will.
They're just
supported-
using similar language.
Yeah, okay. Well, that was a little confusing.
Any other questions on that one? So did this proposal come from Louisville Lanes, or did this come
Came
from
from
students?
It came from Mr. Benson and Miss Forrester, a parent in the community.
Next.
Next is the chess club. This is a program just completely student-led and an opportunity for students to engage in a activity that not only can be fun and competitive, but also certainly utilize strategy and play off many of the academic areas that we're certainly as a district looking to improve and enhance. They would welcome anybody and everybody, all the way from beginners that don't even know how to play chess to individuals that have played a lot and maybe have some level of expertise. They would like to begin, the process, this year and move forward and hopefully have more opportunities to compete, not only internally but externally as we move to the future, but realizing that they need to start small and try to move forward, internally first and foremost.
Question? Reggie?
Comment I see since we just got this, John.
Yep.
I see on the back that this is targeted at high school and junior high.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a conscious decision to not allow entry or participation sooner. I was in chess club, I was in it in 4th grade and beyond, so I know there's interest at an earlier age. Was there a rationale behind that?
Reggie, on the front page, it says there are community enrichment programs for chess, which caters to the elementary and middle school age students, but this was going to be my question as well. Because this says it's providing a path for junior high and high school, but in the previous portion of the sentence, it says that we already have programs for middle age. This is confusing to me.
I think the desire is to get it off the ground at the high school level, and then if it expands beyond that, I think there certainly would be opportunities to potentially do this across the entire district, and maybe there's little pods or pilot programs in each elementary, or maybe it's paired with a couple elementaries paired with each other, or maybe it's a couple elementaries paired with junior high. I think there's lots of options and opportunities for the future. Part of that would also depend on when it's going on and how busing would help support that in one way or another as well, or what busing might be available to support that, especially as it relates to release times.
Any other questions?
I have a kind of a general question. I'm not even sure how to ask this. When I compare the chess club with the bowling, I love the line of the chess club that talks about the no-cut policy, and basically, to your point, anybody that wants to participate can be included regardless of experience. And then on the second page of the bowling, under competition 5D, the first line says, "We compete to win." So I just kind of want to put this out there, generally speaking, to everybody. They have competing messages. One seems to really indicate an inclusiveness. The other one is less than fuzzy, or less than welcoming and warming. Can we encourage them to rewrite that to maybe be a little more inclusive?
I think we certainly could. I think the other side of that is, there is a limit on the number of lanes that are available and the time frame in which they will make the lanes available. And there is an opportunity for them to compete, and when most people compete, they get to the point of wanting to win and having success in the wins and loss column. Part of that just is based on the fact of how much interest is there. If there's 100 kids that are interested, there's probably going to be a limited number of spots available. If there's 15 kids that are interested, we'll probably have the opportunity to have them all involved.
We can definitely encourage a more friendly language. That yes, there may be, I think what they're trying to say is if we have a number of kids and once we're going to compete, just like if they do compete against other schools in a varsity type event, they're probably going to put the best foot forward, even though they may have other kids, a plethora, the funnel wide to, get kids in and get them involved. But that tweaks me as well.
It reads a little harsh, the way it is. I'm all for competition. I'm wondering if maybe in the process of a tryout, where if there's a max of 30 kids, that something that might make it a little bit more reasonable.
Again, it's to use the comparison I did, Clay Target. I mean, we only have the availability in spots for X number of kids, and when you get to that point, or there's more than that, there's an opportunity to try to, try out and be a part of the program.
Back to chess, is that a state high school league recognized competition?
I don't believe chess is, but bowling's getting close. There's more and more programs out there and available, and the high school league is becoming more inclusive as it relates to more and more programming of that as they become presenting partners of some other programs that they aren't officially offering the program, but they've become partners in providing opportunities and marketing and things to programs such as Clay Target and robotics. And in fact, if you go to their website, they're both under their list of activities.
But I presume there are intra-school competitions available for chess teams, correct?
Yes, there are a number of schools that have the program. It's just an opportunity.
So they would have an opportunity to play beyond them
Yes.
with each other and,
Yes.
okay. Any other questions on previous ones? Next?
The next one would be the Shakopee Barbell Club, and this is being brought forth by our coordinator in the fitness center at the high school, Matt Iverson, who has done a fantastic job since his hiring, really kind of making strong efforts to take things in our fitness center to the next level as it relates to just health and fitness as well as athletics. But Mr. Iverson, along with some other folks that are interested in this, would just like to have more of a organized opportunity for kids to look at Olympic weightlifting and provide them specific training and opportunities to be involved, and then again an opportunity to compete with schools across Minnesota that offer similar programs. You know, and this is really no different than a lot of things that are just going on currently, just more of an opportunity to kind of officially sanction the club.
Any questions on this? So this would be more of a training course as opposed to a competition type?
No, that would be both. Both. Yep.
So they're gonna host a meet here.
Yeah.
And we have a very good facility to be able to do that.
Anything else on that one? Next?
The trips.
I believe we are at that point, sir. You know, I guess just to stay on the individuality of this presentation, I guess maybe in summary, the two trips that are before you, one is the drama club with the desire to be taking a trip to New York City in the summer of 2015. The other one is the Japanese class looking to travel to Japan in the summer of 2015. Drama club is looking to go to New York City. Really no different than the choir traveling internationally, the band traveling internationally. We've had a number of other programs do that as well, and this is just domestic. An opportunity to do so in the summer when the rates are a little bit slightly cheaper. I don't think it's ever cheap to go to New York City, but it's slightly cheaper that time of year. And really the thought is, you know, for a different group of students to, you know, have similar experiences as a number of our other students do in many areas. And, you know, they have an opportunity to meet with current practicing actors, see some Broadway shows, of course do some sightseeing, and do it over the summer when they're not missing school. And, you know, this would be an opportunity that, you know, they would need to pay for. But the trip, our drama club advisor, Tom Amundsen, has found a company that puts together trips of this nature like there is in all facets of that nature. And he actually was in New York City himself for a individual family trip here recently and met with this person just to actually see if it was real. And you know, the rates are significantly cheaper with a smaller company versus some of the more national companies that are out there.
Any comments on this?
My only question is, can I go?
I see no reason why not.
You might want to do that.
If needs a board liaison, I'm certain of it.
The Japanese one is, you know, I would say is again similar to some of the other ones where we've had, you know, more of a sister program with schools in Japan as we have had with our German program and Spanish program. They would look at traveling to Japan the summer of 2015. Again, there would be, you know, experience the Japanese culture in their own culture. Doing school visits, they would, you know, have the opportunity to communicate with the locals in their native language and be testing their skills that they're learning here. And there would also be local family homestays during the trip. And this is an extended trip. Going that far, it would be about a 2-week trip. And again, this would be during the summer when they would not be missing school. And they're looking at either the last couple weeks in June or the first couple weeks in July. Yes.
Is there any additional liability with students staying with local families versus
You know, that's something we'd have to work with the travel organization to make sure that all of that information is, and all those Ts are crossed and Is are dotted, but, you know, it really is no different than what our German and Spanish students do, because they're doing things very similarly.
Provider.
You may not know this, but how many kids do we have in the Japanese language program now?
I don't know exactly how many kids that are in the program, but there is about 8 to 12 that have expressed interest in the potential of going. And this trip, due to the length of travel and the length of stay, is significantly more expensive than many of our other trips, but it's one of those that's, you know, it's an opportunity, and if people are willing to pay and write the check, I guess it's a great opportunity.
And if they get out, you know, if they get prior approval to start advertising, then kids can start fundraising and doing some things to earn money to go on some of these trips.
I agree that going to a country where you speak the language that you've learned for 4 years or something is an invaluable experience. So,
The last thing John has is an update on, I talked to you about the possibility of adding already this year Nordic and an opportunity to pair with another district in offering Nordic and downhill or alpine skiing. And at first we thought that would be Prior Lake, but I'm gonna let you talk about that.
Well, you know, in the past, we've had a co-op with Prior Lake and Alpine ski. We've not offered any level of Nordic ski in the past. In working with the Prior Lake administration, their Alpine numbers have grown to the extent that they're really not interested in a co-op anymore, which I understand. They were interested in potentially working with us in Nordic. Knowing that, I reached out to some other colleagues in the area, namely Burnsville High School, to see if there was an opportunity to do both with one school, thinking that might be a little bit simpler. I have recently met with the Burnsville administration. They would be happy and excited to provide us the opportunity to do a co-op with them as soon as this year. And you know, it's coming up fast. And, huh? You know, and you know, their numbers are as such. You know, this just falls in line with some of the other programs we've looked at in the past couple of years of trying to up our game a little bit and offer opportunities that our conference offers as well. And hopefully, with a year or two of these programs, then we could have them scaled up to the fact that we could scale back and have the program ourselves and not co-op any longer.
That co-op would require board action, correct?
Yes.
So part of what we'd ask tonight too is, upon approval of all these things, designating either the board chair, myself, or a combination thereof, because we don't have another board meeting in the appropriate time span. So as we make the motion for approval, should the board choose to do so, I'd ask to designate the board chair as our sign-off in lieu of a full board meeting.
any questions on this one? Entertain a motion to approve the co-op?
Approve the co-op with,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Mary Lindsay Von
Schemes, oh my goodness. So I need a motion then?
I'll make that motion. Second?
Discussion? Everyone's okay with going forward with the co-op, correct? Just working out the details?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
And I think we have direction on the clubs that we'll come back with the Somali group, we'll put that in the right format, answer those questions. We'll temper some of the language in some of the other proposals, especially the bowling one, and we'll put in a caveat that these groups are inclusive, not exclusive, so that they're open to a variety of people. Bring those back for the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
perfect, thank you.
I'm really pleased that the amount of interest, new clubs, the students are
variety.
proposing, and the variety, yes.
And variety, yeah, it's great.
Thank you.
No reason to be sitting home at night.
No.
Homework.
Besides, after
I can
home.
do that after
doing
I
it at
participate.
homework.
I'm curious, does this work for our student in the
Cliff,
audience
they'll
here?
stop
Did you
that
get
one
what
right
you wanted out of this?
Well, is it
You were here for what program?
the faithful? Oh, faithful, that's, I was the one who expressed interest in that, I'm the one who met with people,
Good.
principal,
It's heading down the right track. It's,
okay.
You're close.
We always have 2 readings.
Oh, okay, it's not approved, right?
Not yet.
So
Yeah.
it passed first reading, and at the next month's meeting, we'll approve the second reading.
Okay.
And
Okay.
there doesn't seem to be any dissension among the board members, so it stands a good chance of being approved.
Alright.
Good job bringing it forward.
Yes.
But thank you, thank you for attending tonight.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
You're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, too.
It only gets more exciting.
Homework. He's got homework. Thank you. Thank you.
Then we'll move to item 7.2, which is the 2006 Eagle Creek Elementary and Shakopee West Junior High Pool Addition Building Bonds. And Mr. Berlager?
currently, there's an opportunity that we're exploring to reduce or do a current refunding. In the past, we've done crossover refundings where we sold the bonds, got a lower interest rate on the bonds, but put money in escrow. Within 90 days of the call date, if we don't put them in, we don't need to make an escrow. So we could save about 6 to 7% over the life of the rest of the bonds if we do a refunding, depending on whether it's bank qualified, which is under $10 million, or the amount we have outstanding is just over 13 million. So we save a little less there, but altogether it would be about a net amount of about $650,000 over the life of the bonds. And so just want to bring that to your attention. We're in the process of doing the paperwork and getting things in place, and it will be at your next board meeting, that opportunity to do a refunding. So we didn't have all in the past we've had, if the bond rate is less than such and such, and we set, a triggering resolution. We didn't have that prepared yet, but it will be ready at the November 10th meeting, 13th, 10th. So just wanted to bring that opportunity to your attention.
Is it something, Mike, given the timing, I'm trying to remember a conversation I had with Michael the other night. Are we gonna need to act on it?
Probably need to, certainly the triggering resolution will need to be acted on at the next meeting. And then shortly thereafter, like within the week, we'd probably do the deal so we can get it done by December 31st.
Yeah, okay.
Any
So-
other questions on that?
We'll be bringing that to you next board meeting.
Thank you, Michael. I'll go to 7.3, the co-curricular.
Yeah, I asked that this be added because I had, after, it was I guess October 3rd, the Shakopee dance team had a fundraiser, or maybe more accurate, probably the Booster Club for them had a fundraiser at Stonebrook in which they held a wine and beer tasting. And a member contacted me shortly after that, and then I also got an email just today, and I think Scott got the same email. I saw he was copied on it from another person who's also upset about the fact that our school teams are doing beer and wine tastings to raise funds. I don't think that sends a very good message. Looking back, and I tried to go back, and I saw the advertisement for this, and in many cases it said Sabre Dance Team fundraiser, and many times it looked like the Sabre Dance Team was putting on the fundraiser. Kind of know enough to read between the lines. I saw several times also where it said, well, with proceeds benefiting instead. But first of all, I don't know who actually held the fundraiser. But, and I know if it is a booster club, we have very little authority over those groups. However, we do have some authority over the use of our name and our team mascot name and our logos. And I think I would like to be able to go to the people that have brought that forth and let them know, first of all, if you guys know, Was it the dance team doing that? Because I can't believe that it could be, but maybe it was. And are we willing to consider a policy excluding the use of alcohol at events to raise funds for students?
First of all, it's the first I've heard of it, so I'm rather
The
surprised.
email just came today, yeah.
Yeah. Second